I don't understand calculus. I mean, at least not as well as what my class level says I am. I'm taking honors calculus and I'm a senior in high school. It's like not everyone does that, and not everyone takes honors calculus, but not everyone takes calculus until college. So I think that's how that works. But anyways, everything is fine until you just introduce sine and cosine and fractions, and I don't think there's been any decimals. The decimals are just another form of fractions. And for the most while, we've been alternating between working on integrals and working on this research project on the founders of calculus and who really discovered it. And something that I found when I first doing calculus, we were doing limits. And basically, what a limit is her number is slowly approaching some number, and you have to figure out what number that is. 1 point. If they say you have the numbers 1.9 and 2.1, what number is that? It's supposed to be the answer is that people are looking for is 2. And it's and then we went over derivatives and then antiderivatives, which are just the fancy term is integrals. And I remember liking the long form of solving integrals. And I think those integrals are they're not the sum and the sum symbol, which looks like a fancy E. But I believe that calculus becomes not fun when more complicated elements. Calculus in itself is a complication, but when you start adding fractions and square roots and trigonometric functions, it becomes what is on here? Excuse me? Can you please explain why you're forcing these two things together? Part of me thinks that it's just my brain refusing to understand something, and my teacher calls it senioritis, and I don't know if I would call it that, but I'm just I think it is refusing to understand. It's just my brain just got this is too difficult for me, even though it's not, it's not difficult at all. Just my brain is what is that? What is going on here? And I do like calculus, has things the derivatives and the integrals, and derivatives are just you always get an answer that makes there's have this answer that just makes sense with the actual numbers, but with integrals, when you try to integrate something, you often just these random jumbles of numbers that make no sense to the human eye. They could, it's just you'd have to stare at them for a good while to just really wrap your head around what is that? What is any of that? I'm sure I'll understand. Anyone can understand anything, but that is just the pattern of calculus, just project, then integral practice, project, then integral practice. Then today was integration practice, and it's my brain refuses to understand it. I hope that it would just accept that and has to understand it in order to move further into the realm of mathematics, but that day will come when it does. I can't control it.